Product mockups with Canva. Here we go. I got a Lobo head on a wine bottle mockup, and I got a Lobo head on a soda can, aluminum can, and I did the aluminum can two ways. So depending on if you start through the mockups page, canva.com/mockups, or if you start inside the elements tab on the left once you've created a document, your mockups end up being slightly different. So here's the one that I created through the elements tab, and you can kind of adjust with these corners, and you have this little menu. Whereas if you go, can I get out of there? Escape. If I go to this soda can I created, I did it through the mockups page, canva.com/mockups, and you get this kind of edit menu, which was not so helpful. But you did get to put, I got my white outline for my YouTube cover page. Right, so I can do my shadow, excuse me, my shadow and outline effect. So they're a little different, just heads up, and they're a little tricky. To get the wine label to work, I had to create a separate document or PNG, and I just added like a old paper kind of texture effect in the background, and that worked fine. And for the soda can, I had to make sure I had a transparent background. So let's get into it. It's probably easier just to do it with ChatGPT, and coming from Photoshop, I find it easier just to do it in Photoshop with a smart object, and you get way more control and better results. But if you're in Canva and you want to try it, then this is how to do it. So let's make sure we got our Lobo. All right, so you got to bring in your character head and then remove the background. And then when you share it or download it, you gotta make sure you click transparent background every time. Otherwise, you might get like a white solid background when you add it to the soda can. So I'm gonna click transparent background, download it. Lobo transparent BG, it's already there. All right, so if I double click, right, in preview, it shows up as gray, the background. And if I go to Photo P and hit reload, right, one of the common questions you're going to have in life is my background transparent? So here's the checkerboard, which is standard in Photoshop and most image editing applications other than Canva, right? If you come to Adobe Express, also you can create a new file, plus button. Sorry, let me just go start from your content, and then click the one I just downloaded to my desktop, edit original, and X out of that side, X out of that side, Command plus a little, and background color. It's not default in Adobe Express, but here you get that checkerboard, which is pretty nice. I know Canva's more popular, but Adobe Express does have this feature to give yourself the checkerboard sense of security that your background is indeed transparent. Okay, so what I did next in Canva after I made sure I had a character head with a transparent background is I created a new document, and I made it, I just kind of estimated, and I estimated a width of 3 and a height of 4, a 3:4 aspect ratio, kind of like an old television. And I messed that up, so let me try again. 3 to 4 inches, and create new design. All right, and then I brought the Lobo head in. It wants me to start searching templates. I want to go to elements. So I found this one, this old paper. I think I just searched for old paper. And then, depending on how you want your wine label to look, and I found it helpful at first. I would click on them and they'd show up, then you have to resize them and stretch them. But if you just drag them and hover for a sec, it expands it all the way. So, all right, so that's kind of like a wine label looking thing. Just some kind of texture other than pure bright white. And then I brought in Lobo and I option dragged to expand, moved it up. And then I brought in a 2025 from the apps. Right arrowed a few times to maybe 5 times to Text Studio. And then I search for blue. And I wanted this one with just 2025. And I got rid of the lens flare starburst icon. And there we go. Does it want to be center? It's fine. All right. So now I got a label. Move Lobo up a little. This up a little. All right, and I'm gonna share it, download it, because you need a PNG on your desktop. Transparency doesn't not matter here. Just you need something ready to go to put on your wine bottle mockup. All right, so then I went to the mockups, canva.com/mockups, and under packaging tab, I went to beverages. You can use any, but it wasn't, I guess maybe if I go to bottles, does it search for wine bottles? There we go, right? So I tried to add the word wine or white wine. It's not really super user-friendly, so I ended up having to scroll a bunch. And I know it's painful to watch this while I scroll, but this is how I had to do it. So eventually there's a wine bottle in the vertical orientation with white wine and a green bottle. That's sparkling. There, it was almost like this, except the label. I think it's the next one, yeah. All right, so this is the one I found. You say, yeah, I want to select it. And then you want your upload file from your desktop with your, I think mine was called Untitled that I just created. So Untitled, this one, yeah. And then it uploads, and then you highlight. And there it is. So it looks pretty nice. The highlights from the wine bottle come on the label, which is nice. It's not like you're just putting a JPEG on top. All right, save mockup, adjust image. For now, I mean, you can try playing with the controls. You might be able to resize it slightly, but it's pretty good how it is for me. And then use in design. And I don't know, I did a custom size. I put mine on a YouTube cover. But right, so there it is. And if you want to add a drop shadow or whatever to it, you can come in and adjust it and add your outline. But I'm happy with that for now. So let me cruise over to the next example. I am going to create a new design from the menu. And so I could have gone back to that mock-up and found the aluminum can. It was like at the very end, right? If I X out of here and tell it I'm done with this. Canva.com/mockups. Get back to and then packaging, beverages, and I had scrolled to the very bottom, right, which I know is kind of a pain to watch, but I'll grab the sidebar, and the very bottom is the aluminum can. Man. Right, so there I had to go to the very bottom to find this aluminum can in the beverages mockup section or collection. And you can also, right, so the point is you can do this two ways, and I'm going to create a new document. I've been using these YouTube dimensions. We don't want design, we want elements. And it's going to see what I just used, right? But anytime you see this green hills, blue sky, and cloud, it says basically this is a placeholder that put in your image. So if you go to, you can scroll down and there should be a mockups. All right, here it is, mockups under elements towards the bottom. And then mine's recently used here, but you could try typing in soda can. I guess it's under packaging, that's what I went to. And then you can use any of these, but I kind of like the aluminum can. It has the highlights, and I chose the one that was on its side just because it's, I don't know, it's kind of the point of using these mockups is so that you don't have to do all that rotating, scaling, warping, transforming. So somehow I found it in packaging, but I could search for aluminum or soda can. All right, so there they are. So drag it in, maybe expand it. I don't know, option works, nice. All right, so now you got your placeholder ready. And so I got Lobo with the transparent background. I'm going to drop in. And then when you see that aqua bounding box on the mockup, it means you can drag and drop. And then you can double click to resize it, right? So if you want it to be a little smaller, and then apply changes. All right, so it looks good. At first I thought the hair, the design was kind of coming off the can, but there's some white, that super bright highlight on the right. So it, maybe you want to move it a little bit to the left once off center, and then do apply changes. All right, so something like that, and then get out of mockups because you're done with them. And then the only problem is I couldn't do that outline, so I can't add like a new drop shadow or glow. All right, there's no. I mean, I could download it and then upload it and remove the background and then edit. But right now it wants to keep, the only way to edit is back into that interface. So there you go. A couple ways to do mockups, and I hope you found that helpful, and find a mockup you like and get your design on it how you want it.